Welcome to the Eurovision Kiki Podcast. We're three Americans who have fallen in love with Eurovision. You've got Doug, Katie, and Steven here, and we're here to bring you the best information about the Eurovision Song Contest. We'll bring you the music, history, traditions, as well as all the tea currently surrounding the world of Eurovision. So buckle up and welcome to this week's episode.
And happy summer, everyone. We are here for another Kiki. I think we have a milestone coming up, don't we?
Yes, we do. Happy 1-year anniversary to all of us here at the Eurovision Kiki Podcast.
Yay!
So
We have
cool.
existed for 1 year.
That's crazy.
We're still here,
And we've-
bitches,
We're not going anywhere.
that we know of.
True.
And we appreciate all of our viewers, listeners. Thank you all. I mean, we do what we do because we're having fun with it. And if some of you can have fun along the way, even better.
Absolutely.
We appreciate, our gaslighters.
Our haters. I mean,
Our
shout out to
haters.
the haters. 'Cause
Shout
that's-
out.
Really shout out to the haters.
Shout out to our lovers, to the ones who acknowledge that we don't know European music,
Mhm.
but also to the ones that know we just love Eurovision.
Yep.
And yeah, we're just having a good time. We're out here doing our thing. And so I think today is an opportunity for us to sort of revisit who we are and our music tastes and
Mhm.
kind of how we got started in this whole thing.
Yeah, take a look back at everything that we've done over the last year and share some fond memories.
And some interesting moments of Eurovision history, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, why don't you kick us off?
I would love to. So picture this. No, on Sicily.
Why not?
No, I thought
Go
someone was gonna kick it.
Like,
kick in.
Blue, 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 blue.
Okay. All right. Picture this. It's 2022. I am watching Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he does a segment for Eurovision, a shout out. He shows us Norway with Give a Wolf a Banana, and I'm like, what is this ridiculousness? I must know more.
Mhm.
He also then references Latvia with Eat Your Salad, because if you want the audience to just be like, WTF about Eurovision,
That's a great one.
that's the song you're going to use.
That's a great
So,
one.
you know, when he's showing the clip, and as soon as they see, you know, eat your salad, save the planet, what's the opening line?
Instead of
I
meat,
don't eat
Instead of
meat, I eat
meat, I eat
veggies and
veggies
pussy.
and pussy. Yes. And so, of course, the audience is going to be like, what just happened? What are we listening to?
That's
So
an
that
HBO
was-
audience right there.
Right. So that was my introduction to Eurovision. I then demanded that Ryan and I watch the finals of 2022. And then I subsequently went back and watched the semifinals for both of those to see, okay, what are the songs that I missed? And really, that's when I think that I realized that I'm a big fan of non-qualifying songs. And I'll tell you why. So,
Because you don't know European music.
well, obviously
That's a
that,
given.
but
running theme here on our podcast.
so I went and took a look at like the last couple of years that I've really been a fan of Eurovision, of just, you know, the recent years, and said, how many songs that didn't qualify do I still have like on a playlist? And so in 2022, you had 15 songs that didn't qualify, and of those, I have 6 on my playlist still. Couple of shout outs to Ireland with That's Rich, Malta, I Am What I Am, Austria, Halo, Albania, Secret. And I know that these aren't necessarily popular songs, but it doesn't matter. I like them.
They're still good.
Mhm.
Fast forward to 2024. I actually have 9 out of the 11 songs that didn't qualify still on a playlist. So
Wow.
apparently, if you didn't qualify, chances are
Doug loves
I
you.
was a fan of your song.
Yeah.
And now that we've gotten into like the national finals and stuff, I feel like your non-qualifier percentage has probably only gone up because you love a lot of the non-qualifiers from different national finals all across the years.
I know.
Right. Yeah.
If anything, this is like only elevated our love of Eurovision because now we've gotten sucked into the lore even more. And that rhymed. So there it is.
That's very cute.
I know.
And, speaking of non-qualifying songs, we first were introduced to Citizenni in 2022 with their Veggies, and then we tried to see them again in 2025. And honestly, Ramtai would have been such a banger for Eurovision. I'm very sad that the world is going to know them for eating veggies and pussy.
Hey, there's still time.
It's not the worst thing to be known for.
Well, and they still exist. Like, we could see them next year. We could see them in a couple more years. Maybe they're just putting songs forward every 3 years or whatever. Like,
hey,
they're
going to keep it going. We'll let us know.
From them again.
They were in the comments when we were giving them some love. They said they're going to keep the Ramtai going, and you never know.
We're thankful for that.
I know.
Because I really, really love that song.
We're
absolutely
looking forward to seeing what's to come for them, and as you said, like as we get more into this, there's just that many more references I think we're gonna have. Like we understand. Oh yeah, we saw you a couple years ago, and that'll be a little bit more organic.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but yes, that is my introduction to Eurovision. 2022 was my first year, and many more to come.
Yeah.
Doug, what would you say has been a super memorable moment for you looking back over the past year since we kicked off this podcast that has been like awesome for you that we've accomplished maybe?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is us having a chance to talk with Harry Bjork. Like, no matter, you can't take that away from me. Like, right? No matter what, we had an opportunity to reach out and connect with a Eurovision artist. Like, number one, like, top moment of my past year.
And she's amazing.
Well,
also that.
That much
is
like
so much fun, and it was such a way easier conversation. I know I was super nervous going into that, and I was just like, I don't know, like this is so intimidating. Like, so many people all over the world know who you are, and you're coming to talk to me. Like, what on earth? And then it's like, oh no, she's just like one of the people, like, that you would be running into her. Like, if she lived in Denver, we would all be going to like the same places, or in Seattle. Like, we'd be running in the same circles. And so it's just like, oh, you're a friend. This is great.
she looks at herself as just like another person. And that, I think I love that about her is that she understands that Eurovision is a very loving community and a loving network, and she embodies that. And when she jumped in and chatted with us, she's like, "Your family.
Yeah.
Let's just chat. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want to know." And I love that.
Yeah. That was number one moment for me this past year.
Well, also, Doug, what other, like, outside of Eurovision, what are kind of your music tastes, other interests, things to have people get to know you a little bit better?
Well, in another life, I was a 13-year-old Swedish girl, because that's all I listened to. Let's be for real. Like, Zara Larsson, she's all over my Spotify. So let's take it back to, I think, my origin story. And that was when I received Ace of Base cassette. Yes, if you don't know what a cassette is, check out the internet. I got my first cassette, and it was Ace of Base, The Sign.
Nice.
And the rest is history, because that is my music taste right there.
Then you've just been a bubblegum girly ever since.
100%. I don't need sad songs, on my playlist. Sure, it's fine. We've all had those moments, eating a pint of ice cream as you're crying into your pillow. But I just want it upbeat. I want it lively. I love me Swedish pop. So What are you
That's
gonna do?
beautiful, and I love that about you. I love that for you too.
Yeah, absolutely love that.
So yeah, that's. I mean, I also like show tunes because I'm gay, but
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
but that
You
is
are?
what.
I'm just
so
learning this. Does Ryan know?
I do think he is aware because it'd be
Okay.
awkward if we didn't.
Wow. Okay.
So there you have it.
Yep.
Great.
All right, Stephen, what's your?
Me.
Europe.
Let's talk about your origins.
Oh my goodness. I feel like Doug and I share parallel origins because we both sort of came across like 2021, 2022 Eurovision streaming about the same time, and of course, non-qualifiers are bangers just as much as qualifying songs are, and you just can't help but share love for those that don't qualify, especially the ones that are so close but like just don't make the cut, especially folks like Albina from Croatia in 2021 with TikTok. That still is
Rob.
on my playlist. In an alternate life, I work as like a higher ed IT project manager on like my regular day job. That's how I pay the bills. And that's how I keep the lights on over here at the house.
I mean, I know we're big influencers, but like,
Oh, major.
we're still keeping our day jobs right now.
Yeah. Those streams. Yeah, those streams and views just keep going up and up. Said no one on this podcast ever, but
we're in this for the love of the game, and I think that's what the listeners need to know.
And I think that's what our listeners do know. Like, we do this for love, and if there's anything that comes after that, like, that's just cherry on top of the ice cream sundae there.
Yeah.
But that aside, we work full time here with actual jobs. And so therefore you get a very low budget podcast here. As you can also see on our social media content. But aside from that, when I'm not working full time, I'm, feeling like in an alternate life, I'm working out hardcore. And when I'm cycling, I am creating Eurovision cycling or treadmill playlists where I'm like, okay, this is a Eurovision song where I would be going like full throttle, and I would be telling my cycling class that we're, going high resistance here, and I need you up and giving it your all for the next 15 to 30 seconds, and then coming down for a quick rest for this slow interval. For other songs where it's basically going to be like, hi, I'm Steven, and I'm your cycling instructor, and this is our 60-minute Eurovision cycling class. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, they are not endorsing
making
this,
that playlist.
So, yeah, I am totally making the playlist.
No, but so who's on that playlist?
Yeah.
Who's on the playlist? So you're gonna have yourself some Stefania Last Dance. You're gonna have some Albina TikTok. You're gonna have the girls of Serbia 2021 Loco Loco. Definitely Seesaw Hallucination from this year. Like,
obviously.
she's gonna close it out before we like go into cool down mode though, because I'm gonna want people up and out of their seats, especially when she hits that last note towards the tail end. And I'm going to just be like, give it your all. You're going to have 2019 Michaela from Malta with Chameleon to like get the ride
much is
started.
Obvious. There was no way that you were going to not have that song.
You're going to have Voyager. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to have some
Europapa.
You're going to have some Katia, Cha Cha Cha. You're going to have like all the things in that cycling class for sure. So that's what you've got going on in my life. But yeah, similar to Doug, I got into it 2021, 2022. And then, of course, you got to go backwards from that point on and just try to catch what you can catch that's available.
of course, being in this side of the US, we have some restrictions of what we can and can't view. So we have to find VPNs and other networks in order to access older and past years in order to do the research that we can do and find barriers to break so that we can access those things. So we have to do what we can.
Are there any years that jump out to you that, you weren't watching it when it first aired, but now that you've seen it, you're always going back to? Or like any songs that really stick to your brain?
It depends on the day, honestly.
Mhm.
But I think right now in this current moment, I have been going back into 2019 a lot. But it's also because YouTube's official Eurovision YouTube channel has recently just lifted the US ban. So you can actually
nice.
access the entire 2019 playlist.
Sweet.
So you can watch basically the entire semis plus grand final live performances, which is nice. 2004 is also a great year because I love Greece's entry that year. You are the one, you're my number one. So it's always a good one.
Nice.
And then as I look back at fun memories from this past year, while stressful at the time, I laugh about it a lot, but probably when we got all of the husbands together and they got
Oh my God.
wasted.
Oh my
and we
God.
That was a mess.
I
we
have
just could
never
not
seen
control
Roger
them.
laugh that hard in my entire life. That was
Yeah.
so funny.
But we just could not corral them to focus enough to actually provide us with a concrete enough episode, if you will.
Anything coherent.
But it's just like, well, we're going to just distribute this and do with it what we will. And I'm pretty sure it's our lowest viewed episode to date. So,
Yeah, and all three of them are like, when are we going to do that again?
Yeah, and they want to come back, and I'm like, about that.
So viewers, if you want to see that, go back and watch the old episode before you tell us that you want to see it again, because it's unhinged.
Because in their mind, they think that they think that they delivered something that was groundbreaking and the most amazing thing ever.
And they said, we should be the podcasters. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
We had fun doing it, and do it for the love of the game, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fair. Hey, maybe this time we just unplug the microphones and say, we got wireless ones.
Yeah, and just kind of let them go at it.
Thing.
Let them go.
Let them go. Let them have at it.
They'll have a great time, and we can just go do our own thing.
Yeah, and
just let them loose.
Let them pretend that they're podcasting while we do an actual podcast episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, plus on the plus side of that entire weekend, Doug was here in Denver with us, so that was great.
Yeah.
And Ryan,
and
his husband.
Hashtag and Ryan. Right,
Last
Katie.
but certainly not least.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and so I mean, the first year I really got into it was 2023 after I was influenced by these two. But I also do remember, like, I watched The Soup with Joel McHale in high school all the time. And he would, kind of like John Oliver, he'd like show clips of Eurovision that were like insane or whatever and like make fun of them. And I vividly remember seeing Rise Like a Phoenix, Conchita Wurst, obviously. And it was like, 2014, not exactly the progressive humor that we would probably expect now. But, so I remember like knowing about it, but not really ever engaging with it. And then when the like Will Ferrell movie came out, I was like, yeah, I've heard of that. I remember that. But then I didn't watch the movie, but I found out that he really loves Eurovision and like that's why he made the movie and things like that. And so it's like it had kind of been like in the ether of like me knowing that this thing existed for a decade or whatever before I actually got into it. And then I remember, when the like 2023 playlist came out, I think the first one, the songs that like hooked me immediately, obviously Queen of the Kings. And I really loved Breaking My Heart by Lil Riley. Speaking of non-qualifiers.
Non-qualifiers on the playlist.
And those were like the first two that I was like, oh yeah, I could listen to this. And then it was like, I really loved My Sister's Crown. I loved Carpe Diem. I started like getting into like a bunch of the different songs from that year. And then we had the watch party over at Steven's house and we had so much fun. And then I was like, okay, this is part of me now. And kind of in my normal life, my non-Eurovision listening life, I have gone through a lot of different phases of music. Like I have listened to some really deep indie, like dark, not to be a total hipster, but stuff that people haven't heard of, and probably for good reason, honestly. And
do you want to give us just like one snippet of like an artist from that? There's somebody who's going to be like, oh my god, that's my favorite band.
I would say Why and is on there. Like Why the Question. That's one of the bands. The artist formerly known as Final Fantasy had to change their name and now go by their actual name, Owen Pallett. Love him. And then, I went through a real emo Death Cab for Cutie
I love that.
phase.
I love that for you.
I'm obsessed with them. And then now, because I am a fitness instructor, also partially for not my day job, my other
the side
for fun
gig.
job.
Yeah.
You mean
I put together
this
a ton
podcast doesn't get you enough money to
because we
$0 gets me nowhere.
Yeah, because we get $0 from this podcast.
Let me eat this steak dinner that this podcast bought me.
Like
Delicious.
I know.
You know what? Give it 2 years and your dinner will be free.
Yeah, 0.000. Yeah, we don't even make that. 0.000.
Yeah, we haven't made it to the threshold where we can even make the 0.003.
Yeah, we're not even there.
But so because of that, like I've definitely gotten more into like EDM, listen to a lot of dubstep, a lot of house music. Yeah. So like all of my day lists are either European pop princess or they're like the weirdest things. Like I'll get one that it's like wub wub snowboarding programming afternoon playlist. And I'm like, great. Sounds awesome.
This sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, let's see what my unhinged day list is right now, actually, because let's see. G House beat drop Friday morning. So, classic.
Classic Katie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I also like kind of more of the uplifting, but I can definitely have an appreciation for, like some of the more sad, not necessarily like love song ballad, but a little bit more of the like kind of offbeat ones.
But not going all the way to how much time do we have left?
No, I don't like sad ones. And also that one is just bad.
You can be slower tempo without being depressing.
Yeah. True. But yeah, so that's kind of my vibe. What else do we want to know? I forget what else we were saying.
What as we look at this past year, like what's been a great memory for you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, obviously, Hera Bjork was huge. That was like the first like big thing where we were like, oh my god, like this is crazy. And also just seeing like just some of the interactions we've been able to have even just on social media with some of these artists about, we say anything about them, we post it on our story, and a lot of them will respond to us or, say kind words back. And I
Shout
think
out to
that's
Gustav.
really cool. Yeah, shout out Gustav most recently.
Shout out Gustav. Shout out Nair
Marco.
Rivers.
Yeah,
She's
River.
Nair Rivers. She's amazing.
Mhm.
Shout out World Vashon, our buddy.
Yes. Yeah, and that's been really fun to just have like kind of foster those relationships with the other people that just love Eurovision. And I think that community aspect of it, obviously we get a bunch of people in our comments and things that disagree with us or tell us we don't know European music or whatever, nitpick whatever kind of stuff that we do, but also that comes with the territory of putting ourselves out there.
And it's
But
okay.
and for the most part, it really does, like, the united by music is really true. And, we get to interact with and talk with people from kind of all over the world, which is really, really cool. And I really loved, I can't remember what country it was, but the first time we saw a stream from a country that we didn't know anybody in.
Yes.
And it was like, someone totally random has found us. This is so crazy. That's so cool. And just, the whole bringing the world together, bringing people together because we love this weird thing.
Yeah. We have this one little thing that we have a strong interest and love for, and some people like to listen to it. So that's cool.
I think that's what makes it so much fun, is that when we don't agree, because if we just got on here and everybody just loved every song and we agreed which ones were good and which ones were bad, like, okay, that's boring.
Yeah, totally.
So it's always interesting to see, what songs resonate with people, what songs don't. You had everybody this year, not everybody, but you had a good number of people who were really into Albania this year, and I was just like, I don't get it. What am I missing? And so it was just, fun to find out, okay, well, why do other people like that? So that's just been really cool.
I keep going back to Albania this year, even though Eurovision's been over now for like
Steven, we're done.
Yeah, it's done.
Steven is never done.
I'm never done.
Okay, you've been going back to it. Finish your thought. I have a question for you after.
It's one of those ones where it was just like the slowest of slowest growers for me. Like they were like the second country that came out with a song, and then it like disappeared for the longest time. And then it just kind of like circled back all of a sudden. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And then the hype built, and we were still kind of like, I don't get it. And then you meet them, and you're like, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
they're amazing, and then they explain fire, and it all came together for me at the very, very end. Now I can't quit it. So, but it's over 6 weeks later. And so I'm like, well,
so
I missed
didn't
the
get
bus.
your votes, but
It didn't get my votes, but it still performed really well. I missed the bus. But here we are.
That's going to be a true testament of some of these songs. Like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is anybody talking about your song? Is anybody really referencing it? We go to these events for Eurovision, and Steven, you're at the Euro Club, and they're playing just numbers in the background. Which ones are they playing? Right? Like,
they did not play Embers.
Ooh.
Hey, I have definitely taught Versa Climb class to that song.
I love that.
See, he's going to be remembered.
Yeah,
we're still talking about him.
We're still talking about him. So now, what were you going to say, Katie?
So my question is, now with your at least weekly Eurovision watch through, are we still on 2024, or have we moved on to 2025?
That is a fantastic question. We have moved on to 2025.
Wow.
Of course.
So Roger gets a little
for...
bit of a reset. And
Roger-
then
Yeah.
in 2 months, he's going to be like, oh my God.
I mean, I will
Move
say,
on.
I will say, maybe it's sheer vanity. I look for myself in the audience.
Oh, well, yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
Totally
it might
is.
be.
It totally is. But I did see myself in the grand final, so
There you go.
I did, and I was like,
take a screenshot,
Yeah.
enhance it.
enhance. But I did think about this this morning during my drive to the gym. I need to get The Tower from Luna back on my playlist because it's been a while since I've
Yes.
heard that song.
Yeah,
Like,
that one hits every time.
it does, and I'm neglecting it, and I need to bring it back
That really is the year of the non-qualifiers.
because that one is
Really
one that,
is.
because to this day that's still a justice for Luna. There is still justice for Luna out there.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
I know she's gone through a lot of reflection. She's posted about it. She's doing good, but Luna, we're still out there for you.
Oh, yeah, big time. And that one I'll put on a Climb playlist as well. Yeah, I try to throw in at least one little Eurovision hint, and sometimes it'll be like the cool down song I chose a while back was Netherlands 2023. I cannot remember the name of that song.
Burning
I can't
Daylight.
right now. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a great
another
like, cool down,
non-qualifier.
But like
but a great cool down.
great as a recorded song.
Mm-hmm.
we recognize that
Live?
they had a rough time during the live, but such a great song.
But
Yeah,
Halo is
I
the
mean-
same way
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from
Great song.
2022.
Yeah, so I mean, there's all these ways that like Eurovision has just kind of woven itself into my life, and it's not like just this standalone thing that I do for a podcast or one interest. It like becomes part of the other things that I'm interested in as well, and so I think that that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like it's a great opportunity for you to introduce people to it, right? Like,
Yeah,
they come and talk to you or whatever and say, "Oh, what was that song?" Or, "Oh, that was a lot of fun."
Eurovision.
yes,
Well, I mean, let's be real. Anyone who will listen, as soon as I hear the word Eurovision mentioned, are like, "Don't you do something with Eurovision?" And I'm like, "You started."
I know.
I'm going to tell you everything now,
I
so
know.
just buckle up.
It's like,
drag 'em in.
you just ignited something. Sit down.
Yeah.
You're about to get a mouthful.
Yeah, one of my other interests is reality TV, and I listen to a podcast about primarily The Bachelor, but they've also been getting really into Love Island, which so have I. And they call it
Suck to
anytime
it.
someone like brings this up, or they can like get them into like, no, this is like my thing. They call it dragging them into the pit, and I feel like we do that with Eurovision. We have a Eurovision pit. We drag people in.
Yeah.
If someone makes the mistake of saying, like, "What kind of music do you like?"
I know.
It's over. Like,
it triggers.
Sorry.
I'm like,
Say, how much time do you have?
I'm like, I listen. Have you ever heard of Eurovision? Sit
Like,
down.
Isn't that a movie?
Yeah,
It's so
I do
much
get
more
that
than that.
sometimes. But I mean, and that's the nice thing too. I feel like John Oliver has done like let's see what's going on in Eurovision for the last couple years now. Like last year, he brought up obviously, no rules.
Papa.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, yes, this is like, do you want to just go into another world? Come to Eurovision.
Yep.
It will take you away.
Yeah,
And I
get
think
his
that's
yearly
really
shout-out
part of
nonsense.
my issue with how much time do we have left together, because I was like, that's too real. This is my safe space to go have fun and to go like be camp, and that was too
Right.
real.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
did John
reminded of my
Oliver-
mortality.
Which one did John Oliver do this year? Because I feel like he did do another
Serving.
That's
time.
right. Serving.
Obviously.
Because you have to.
Avitamo.
Avitamo.
You have to. Yes.
Mhm.
So we've
And
done it. Yeah. But
Doug and I are trying to work on our French We're learning our French. So
It's
if
true.
we have any French listeners who want to help us converse.
I'm not.
I'm like scrolling. I
Loin
scroll through
Dichi.
the Instagram and I see French memes, and I'm like staring at it, trying to be like, do I understand what this
Yeah.
is?
Yes.
And basically right now my entire feed is Le Poisson Steve. So, you know.
What?
Oh,
I'm not
girl.
familiar.
Steve, Le Poisson Steve. Il est orange. Il a deux bras.
Is that
Et
the
des
Pink
jambes.
Panther? I don't
No,
know.
it's an orange fish that has arms and legs.
Oh,
And there's a song about it.
As one
I'll
does.
send
okay.
it to you.
You have to send that to us.
Yeah.
I'm curious if like we need to brush up on our French, because is that a language they speak in Austria?
It's not.
Well, because
Austria's
Loin
German.
Dichi,
I mean,
I
it is
mean,
far from here.
I have
Yeah.
a feeling that people know at least some, depending on where you are. But
Okay.
it's definitely German heavy.
It's German.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Switzerland is more it's like French, German,
They have 4
Swiss.
languages. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have 4.
and Italian.
And Italian, yeah.
So
There was a
start your
segment all about it.
Duolingo for German because you're headed to Austria.
Okay. Good to know. I just, because something that's been on my mind, thinking about like artists that will be very much present for 2026 Eurovision. I'm wondering if Zoe will be there to do Loin Dichi, because I'll be excited if she is there. I mean, Obvi, Conchita Wurst will be there, so.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Conchita, you've got Taya, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I better be getting some live performances from them.
Well, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So we've done it, y'all. We've been here for a year. I can't wait to see what do you think we're gonna do for the next year? Looking
Go to
ahead.
Austria.
Besides go to Austria.
We're just going to continue to do our thing. I think upcoming this summer, we are going to do a rewind to 2014 to really highlight the last time Austria won prior to the current year.
Yeah. I think it would be great if we kind of touched on it, but not really. I think it would be great if we did a segment on songs that are great as a recorded song, but maybe
Didn't
miss the
translate.
mark as a live performance.
Yeah.
That would be a fun episode.
That would be.
It's gonna be.
Now
hard.
I've already
come
got
back into, like national
5-6
finals for some of
songs that are
them.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to see what's to come for this next year. The hope is that the three of us are all in Austria at the same time
yep.
for the contest. So if we can pull that off, that's a huge win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just being able to spend that time with you all at the contest.
Yes.
That's
It would be amazing.
And I mean, the news we got that's breaking for us, maybe less so when we release this episode, but Martin Osterdahl is no longer.
She out.
Is
Girl,
she
you gots
out?
to
So
go.
I don't know what that will like materially mean, if there's going to be any changes in the way that kind of things are run or what we see moving forward into this year, but who knows? I mean,
It
this
could shift a lot.
There could be some shifts for sure.
Yeah.
And so we have no idea.
And there's also talks that the Eurovision trophy will look different.
Because
Yeah,
everybody
it's
keeps
not-
breaking
Because everybody keeps breaking it.
Because it has no structural integrity. That is. So anyway, yeah, and a logo change potentially.
I mean, we're going into the 70th year. I would think that they
Yeah.
would wait until they hit like 75th, but if they want to go
The
at the
quarter
70th,
quell.
at the
if you
quarter
will.
quell, yeah. if you wanna go at the 70th year, have at it. But
Yeah,
it's
why not?
hearsay right now. But for sure, Martin's gone.
Yeah. So
We
that
wish him
already
well.
will possibly be some changes. So
Yeah.
so very excited to see what this year brings. I think we're gonna talk a little bit about some history this summer and get back into things, and then before you know it, we're gonna start having songs be able to be released. And
it'll be like rinse and repeat. We'll be back into song selections, national song contests, internal selections, all of that.
yeah.
Back to raging about what doesn't make it through that absolutely should have. It'll be great.
And back to internet sleuths being like, no, I saw you perform this song way before September.
Yep.
A classic.
A classic clickbait all over again.
Yep.
Ooh.
Maybe Neo Noen will like come back again. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe they'll write a song that they hadn't performed.
Who knows?
Only time will tell.
How much time do we have left together?
Oh God.
On this podcast, not much, because we're gonna wrap it up.
About 5 more minutes.
Yeah, less than, because that's gonna do it for this episode of the Eurovision Kiki podcast. Happy anniversary, everybody, and thank you to all who have stuck around with us for this past year. And if you're new, just catching on to us, or fairly new, have just recently caught on to us not too long ago, welcome.
We're happy to have you.
We're happy to have you. We have a ton of episodes available to stream on Spotify and on YouTube. Feel free to catch up on any of those. They're a doozy.
They're a time.
They're a time.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this was part of why I wanted to do kind of a reintroduction. I feel like the three of us have gotten way more comfortable with podcasting and doing this whole thing. We've gotten some audio things worked out. Like I think the last introduction one, Steven and I recorded in the same room, and we like couldn't figure out how to do it. It was like,
we're low budget here.
Yeah. So I feel like we've kind of got into a routine now, and we've caught our stride. So wanted to redo our first episode almost.
The revamp.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Be sure to, give this episode a like. And why not just follow us? Give us some love. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Spotify channel at Eurovision Kiki Podcast. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Eurovision Kiki. And then while you're at it, why not send us some love at eurovisionkiki@gmail.com if you've got questions. And as always, you can leave comments on just about any of those platforms. So do all of those things. We love to hear from folks. But for Doug, Katie, and myself, that's going to do it for now. Much love to all of you. During our summer season, we're on a bit of a bi-weekly episode drop. So this episode will drop soon, and then you'll see us in a couple of weeks after that. But that'll do it for now. So much love to everybody, and we will see you all at our next Kiki.
Bye.
Bye.